weekend in South Florida.
It's very disheartening, but it's a trend that you're seeing around the country.
The growing reward right now to find the suspects who opened fire at a banquet hall.
And high levels of toxin found in a Palm Beach County water supply. Local cities affected by a water advisory, what officials right now are urging people not to do.
It's a day of remembrance for those who died serving our country. Why a retired colonel wants us to focus on the women who gave their lives.
You're watching CBS 12 News This Morning, the one to turn to.
And good morning, I'm Matt Lincoln.
And I'm Terry Hornstein. We are honoring those who have fallen serving our country today.
This is a live look in Lantana. There will be a Memorial Day service today. What's the weather going to look like here today for all the Memorial Day services? Let's check in with meteorologist Lauren Oleski. Lauren, what are we looking at today? Because a lot of people want to be cooking out and having a nice day.
Not too bad. Let's talk about cooking out, because you should be okay weather-wise doing that. But if anyone stepped outside this morning, specifically southern Palm Beach County, it smells like a barbecue. At least it did a few hours ago. There are fires right now that are burning west of Highway 27, just along the Palm Beach County, Broward County border. We've been talking about brush fires for the past few weeks right now. A little flame could start a large fire. The winds will pick up a little bit later today, but it's really, really dry outside still. We luckily actually have some rain that's moved onshore in Indian River County. Look at all these storms, though, that are stalled across the coast and just offshore of central Florida there. We also have a little bit more rainfall that's starting to slowly drift towards the northwest. That's just south of the Bahamas there. I'll watch that through the morning. Most of us are dry, though. We had a little bit of a moisture bump across the area over the last 12 hours, and you can see all that moisture now off the coastline with all of those storms that we're currently dealing with. We're looking live from the airport camera. In fact, it looks a little hazy out there now. That's because of those fires, again, that are burning in inland Palm Beach County. Looks pretty over PGA National. 70s along the coast, 60s a little further inland there. Not a bad day. We'll get a few isolated thunderstorms outside, mostly for inland communities. We're going to get nice and warm, headed towards the mid-80s by 11. I know a lot of people plan on heading to the beach later today, too. We'll take a closer look at that boating forecast. That's still ahead. Terry, Matt?
This type of gun violence has to stop. Every weekend it's the same thing. This is targeted. This is definitely not random.
This morning, the reward continues to grow in the search for the suspects who opened fire outside of a banquet hall in Miami-Dade County. 2 people were killed, nearly 24 others were hurt. That reward is now up to $125,000.
Yeah, the shooting happened during a concert over the weekend. Police are looking for 3 suspects. They say jumped out of a white Nissan Pathfinder and started shooting. Witnesses say the 3 suspects were firing indiscriminately into the crowd, but investigators say people were targeted.
Kara Duffy joins us this morning from the live desk. She's following all of the big stories across the country. And Kara, we're hearing from the mother of one of the victims this morning.
That's right, Terry, Matt. It's the type of phone call no parent ever wants to get in the middle of the night. Your child sounding absolutely helpless, saying what they thought would be their final goodbyes. It was the terrifying reality for Angelica Green and her husband over the weekend. Their 24-year-old son, Daryl, and another family member were injured when 3 gunmen opened fire outside of that banquet hall in Hialeah. Right now, her son is still in the hospital recovering, but feeling lucky to be alive.
And he called us frantic, telling us he had been shot, that it hurts, and he loves us. He wants us to know. My husband is like, no, stay with us, stay with us. And we hop in the car, and we're talking to him to try to keep him alert.
Right now, detectives are looking through surveillance video and interviewing witnesses, trying to pin down the people behind this deadly attack. We are told that investigators with the Miami-Dade Police Department will be giving an update at 10 o'clock this morning. We will be tuning into that, and we'll be sure to bring you all the latest details as soon as we get them in. Matt?
Yeah, Kara, and Governor DeSantis reacting to the mass shooting. He tweeted, quote, "We are working with local authorities to bring justice to the perpetrators. Justice needs to be swift and severe."
And this mass shooting comes just 48 hours after a shooting near Wynwood, also in Miami-Dade County. 1 person was killed, another 6 hurt in a drive-by shooting there. Police say some of the victims ended up driving themselves to the hospital. Detectives are working to find that suspected shooter. The motive in both these shootings still unknown this morning.
Well, right now at 6:34, thousands of West Palm Beach, South Palm Beach, and town of Palm Beach residents are still under a water advisory. This coming after high levels of a toxin caused by blue-green algae was found in drinking water last week.
According to the Environmental Protection Agency, their guidelines, infants, children 6 and under, pregnant women, nursing mothers, the elderly, those with pre-existing liver conditions, people receiving dialysis treatment, and even pets should not drink the tap water. All of these groups might be vulnerable to the effects of an algae bloom-related toxin. It's also important to note here, listen up, do not boil the tap water. It will not get rid of the toxins and might even increase the toxin level.
Now, residents affected by the drinking water advisory can get bottled water today at Gaines Park. Distribution starts at 10 and goes until 1 p.m.
Residents with questions can call the city's hotline. The number on your screen right now, that number is 561-822-2222. A lot of twos. You can also find more resources on our website. We have everything there for you, CBS12.com.
6:35, and right now a memorial is growing for 5 people who died in a crash in West Boca Raton yesterday morning. A Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office says a Hyundai with 8 people was speeding and lost control going eastbound on Camino Real near the intersection of Sanibel Drive. The teen driver and 2 passengers of that car died, and 2 elder people in the car that got struck were also killed. Now, 5 others were hurt, all between the ages of 12 and 14.
The Coast Guard suspended the search for 10 Cuban migrants who disappeared after a boat capsized off the coast of Key West last week. They spent 3 days trying to locate the missing people. The Coast Guard says at least 2 people died, and they were able to rescue 8 others.
6:36, let's take a live look right now. Palm Beach International Airport this morning. Tens of millions of people are on the move for Memorial Day. Transportation Security Administration says it screened more than 3.5 million passengers between Friday and Saturday alone. I remember when we were making a big deal that it was just 1 million, and now we're talking about multi-million here. According to AAA, about 37 million Americans are traveling this holiday weekend. Wow. All right, taking a live look at the departure board at PBIA, where all flights are on time so far at this hour.
It's going to be a busy one. Today, a service in West Palm Beach will honor female veterans. Madeline Montgomery is live from Lantana. She had the chance to speak with a retired colonel who joined the Army when hardly any women were in it. Good morning, Maddie.
Good morning, Terry. So when you go to a museum or if you drive by a veterans memorial, a lot of times you're seeing a man's face or a man's name. Well, today here at the Palm Beach Memorial Park, Colonel Eileen Watson is talking about the women's names and those faces who were lost while serving our country. And while there are many men in history books who did give up their lives for our country, Colonel Watson wants us to make sure to remember that plenty of women have too. Starting in World War I, women would risk their lives traveling to war-torn areas to nurse our troops. Women in the present-day military have many more roles besides nursing, meaning more women putting their lives on the line and even dying to defend the United States. Colonel Watson says that's the price of freedom and price of equality.
And women are doing everything in the military now. It's fabulous. All the opportunities available, and they're taking advantage of it. And they're finding out how great leaders women are also.
14% of the U.S. military is female. Colonel Watson will be honoring them, as well as the ladies who have lost their lives here today at the Palm Beach Memorial Park, and that's going to be at 11. For now, live in Lantana, Madeline Montgomery, CBS 12 News.
All right, Maddie, and let's take a live look at Memorial Park in Stewart. A Memorial Day parade and ceremony will kick off at 9 this morning, just about 2.5 hours from now. Several other Memorial Day events are happening all over Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast. You can find a complete list right now on our website, CBS12.com.
Still ahead, the Delray Beach woman found inside a sewer, making headlines once again.
Yeah, police are now reporting her missing again. Sam?
Plus, a local waitress receives an $800 tip from one of her customers, but it's what she did with that generous tip that makes her this week's hometown hero. I'll introduce you to her coming up in just about 10 minutes. Most of us waking up dry this morning, couple showers and storms off the coastline. We'll talk more about the rest of your day next.